Okay, picture it with me now. You're poolside in Arizona, maybe a glass of sangria in your hand. Or perhaps you're on the golf course in Florida, enjoying a round on the links. That's what most people think of when they think of retirement. But I'm gonna throw in a third scenario, one that you might not expect. And that's retiring in Kansas City. Stay tuned to find out the top reasons Kansas City is actually a great place to retire. But first, I'm Rach the Realtor here, giving you the scoop on all things Kansas City. I would love to hear from you. So shoot me a text, give me a phone call, send me an email. Let's touch base and talk, of course, all things Kansas City. But today we are talking about the reason why Kansas City is actually a great place to retire. Let's go. Many of us dream of travel when we retire. We want to go on all those vacations we've always dreamed of going on, see all the places we've never seen before, and just take advantage of all of our newfound free time. Kansas City is usually not at the top of the vacation destination list, but it's a great place to live if you want to travel a lot. If you want to travel by land in the United States, you really couldn't find a better place. All of these destinations on this map are within about a day's drive from Kansas City. It's a pretty good chunk of the country you can see just a day away. Not to mention there are amazing quick day trips all around the Kansas City metro. The Lake of the Ozarks is a huge destination. Branson, Missouri, northwestern Arkansas, Omaha, Nebraska has a great zoo. So lots and lots of vacations to be taken just by car straight out of Kansas City. And then by plane, okay, the airport's kind of a mess right now. I won't lie about that. I won't lie. The airport is one of you, if you watch all my videos here, you'll know it's one of my problems with living in Kansas City. But a new one is on the way, a couple of years out, so maybe you're still a couple of years from retiring. So don't worry, it'll be here just in time. And then we'll have a beautiful new airport. And even with the current airport, it's great because you can fly basically anywhere in the US in 3 hours or less. So if you retired in Florida, it is a long haul to get over to LA. Or if you retired in Arizona, it's quite a ways to get up to New York. So in Kansas City, you can get wherever you want to get in a jiffy. So that is one reason retiring in Kansas City is great, is for the travel, which a lot of people wouldn't think of, but I'm here to think of all the good ideas for you. I won't dive into too much detail here on the cost of living because I did that in a recent video. Make sure you check out my cost of living in Kansas City video to get more nitty-gritty details. But moral of the story is Kansas City is a very affordable place to live, relatively low taxes, relatively low just general cost of living, transportation, all that good stuff. In fact, in Kansas City, this is according to a study done by CNBC, or some research done by CNBC, your retirement dollars stretch about 5 years further than the rest of the country. So the national average, if you retire with $1 million in assets, on average nationally, that'll last you just 20.9 years. In Kansas City, number is 25.5 years. So what all that means is your money lasts longer here, aka a lower cost of living. Great reason to retire here. Stretch those dollars further and maybe retire a little earlier. You might beat the airport to retirement though. Hopefully you are watching this healthy as a horse, dreaming of a wonderful, wonderful retirement experience and season of life. But as we age, it's just inevitable. We are going to face more health issues than we did when we were younger. So medical care is a big factor here. So according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they did a survey, and they found that Americans over 65 spend 34% more of their income per year on healthcare than the average consumer. So that's 34% more of your income that typically you're going to spend on healthcare when you are over 65. So it is important to be in a location where healthcare is not overly expensive. And GoBankingRates.com did a list of the best states to live in for healthcare costs for seniors. And both Kansas and Missouri are in the top 10. So Kansas and Missouri have low cost of living, low cost of health care, which is very important as we age, right? The other thing is quality of health care. So if you're not from Kansas City, you might be thinking it's just some podunk cow town where we don't have great health care, and that is not the case. We have some world-renowned hospitals in Kansas City. Just go ahead and look them up yourself. U.S. News and World Report ranks a lot of healthcare outlets. In Kansas City, there are quite a few different specialties that are ranked in the top 50 on healthcare providers. So you'll get low cost of healthcare, you'll get quality healthcare, and there are really good hospitals. They're kind of spread throughout the metro. So wherever you live in Kansas City, you're going to have someone to take care of you nearby. This one might be a little controversial. So argue with me in the comments, send me an email, tell me I'm wrong. But the weather is actually a reason to retire in Kansas City. And that is because it's relatively mild. Of course, we do get all 4 seasons. We get snow, we get brutally hot days in August, and everything in between. But Zebra.com did a ranking using data from the National Weather Service, and they actually ranked Kansas City as the best weather city in the Midwest because it's relatively mild. So the average temperature throughout the year in Kansas City is 57 degrees. Pretty tolerable, pretty nice. It averages 55 inches of rainfall annually, so it's not like we're super dry, but we also typically, as I was gonna say, we never get rain for weeks, but it feels, the day that I'm shooting this, we've had like 5 straight days of rain, but that doesn't happen very often. And then my personal favorite here, Kansas City enjoys 62% of their days of the year with sunshine. 62% of our days living in Kansas City, you step outside and feel the sun on your skin. Now, sometimes it's going to be really cold sun, but I will take a cold, sunny day over a dreary day any day of the week. And interestingly, Miami, Florida only gets 68% of their days per year in sun. So you think of Florida as like, well, you know, the sunshine state, but we actually get relatively close in days of sunshine in Kansas City. So that is my case for why the weather actually makes it a pretty darn good place to retire in Kansas City. You knew we were going to talk housing. I am Rach the Realtor after all. So housing, there are tons of low stress living options in Kansas City. As of today, I just looked this up today, there are over 70 maintenance provided homes for sale, ranging from a $74,000 little condo, super affordable, all to a brand new, beautiful single family home for $450,000. That's up north. That is really, I mean, it's high price for it's higher than the Kansas City average for a single family home, but for brand new maintenance provided, not bad. And then you can go all the way up to, you know, like a $1.9 million penthouse overlooking the Plaza Country Club, which if you're going to live in luxury for retirement, that is the place to be. So you know who to call if you're going to buy a house in Kansas City, but you absolutely don't have to buy a house to retire here. The senior living industry is booming in Kansas City, just exploding. You are seeing everything from senior living apartments to full range life plan communities popping up all over the metro. Actually, my background is in senior living, so if you have any questions at all about senior living options, I would be more than happy to chit chat with you about that. But just to sum it up in a quick little nutshell, you have independent living apartments, which is basically like just an apartment that is 55 and up. And it's just like renting an apartment anywhere else. Maintenance is taken care of. A lot of times they have a few activities, but other than that, you're just guaranteeing yourself you're not going to have some loud, college kids partying next to you. No guarantees about your fellow retirees though. But then you also have, there's life plan communities, which is what my background is in, where they have independent living, assisted living, memory care, nursing care, and then usually they have tons of amenities for independent living, like golf courses and art studios, swimming pools, all of that good stuff. So would love to chit chat with you about that, but keep in mind there's some great maintenance provided housing options. There's some really nice rental homes, and then of course a whole booming senior living industry here in Kansas City. So if you're thinking about retiring in Kansas City, you know it's a great place to travel from. Relatively low cost of living, relatively low cost of healthcare, and quality health care. The weather is very mild for the most part. Don't hate me in February. And the housing, there's so many options, and it's really relatively affordable, especially when you compare it to the popular retirement hotspots. So that's it. That's my case for retiring in Kansas City. Tell me why I'm wrong. I can't wait to hear from you. Don't forget to reach out. Rach the Realtor, here to give you the scoop on all things Kansas City. See you next time.